There's a new king of the headphone world, of the all-around headphones. My opinion, of course. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm Cole Caparoon. Thank you for stopping by for another video. This is exciting to me. This is really exciting. This is the new Focal Lensys Professional headphone, and I think it's the best all-around headphone I've ever heard. And that's a bold statement, so stick with me while I discuss it. But I feel like I need to make some disclaimers first. One, this is not a sponsored video. No one paid me to make this video. There are no sponsors on this video. I don't even get to keep this pair of headphones, although I'm gonna have to acquire a pair for myself. These have to go back to Focal. That's a real bummer. Some more disclaimers. I obviously like the Focal sound. I have an entire Atmos rig of Focals. My all-time favorite sounding pair of headphones are the Focal Clear MG Pros. I've made a whole video about these. These are very expensive. They're like $1,500, but they're absolutely stunning sounding, and they're my favorite pair of headphones. I have a pair of the Focal Bluetooth headphones, the Batiste, that are hands down the greatest pair of Bluetooth headphones I've ever used. I clearly have a relationship with the company as I've worked with them on content. All of that said, I still think genuinely that these are the best all-around headphones for studios that I've ever used. But I say all that to just say that I am slightly biased towards the Focal sound. I genuinely love the sound of Focal speakers and headphones. But these kind of got to a place where I was not sure I thought was possible with closed back headphones. Now, when I put these on for the very first time, I was literally like, oh my God, are these better? Do these sound better than the Clear MG Pros? And no, they don't. They don't sound better. But that's how good they sound. They sound so good that I was like, did these just dethrone my favorite headphones? So let's talk about it. This is kind of Focal's first entry into real high-end, like tracking headphones, closed back headphones. So I want to start with the things that I love about them. One, they almost don't sound like closed back headphones. Closed back headphones, to me, every pair I've ever had, and I have a bunch, and I just pulled all of them out to listen to all of them just to make sure, pairs that I haven't used in years, just to make sure that I was giving accurate information here. Closed back headphones almost universally have this super close, go figure, super like kind of congested in the mid-range, kind of scratchy, flat, non-three-dimensional, like not super hi-fi. They just almost always have this, there's compromises. They're compromises because they're closed back. And this is traditionally where open back headphones have always had a massive advantage, is they don't have to deal with these tiny cavities to make them sound good, because they just open the back. And it makes everything sound much more open, go figure, and much more natural sounding, and makes everything sound significantly more three-dimensional and significantly less congested in the mid-range, significantly less flat. This is kind of a character that all open back headphones have. And if you're only mixing and mastering, you should really look at a quality set of open back headphones, because they just don't have the same limitations that closed back headphones have. Then we get to the new Focal Lensys Professional, I hope I'm saying that right, Lensys Professional headphones. And they exhibit almost none of that super flat, super right here, close, congested mid-range, scratchy character. They exhibit almost none of that. They sound closer to an open back than any closed back I've ever heard, and they sound significantly better than several other open backs that I have here in the studio. That blows me away, if I'm being honest. Now, one of the things that Focal does with all of their headphones that really helps is they position the drivers forward on the headphones. This is one of my favorite features about Focal headphones, is they feel much closer to an actual pair of speakers, because they're literally coming from the forward-facing direction. And it just feels a lot more natural to how we're used to hearing speakers. And when you're sitting in the sweet spot and you're checking your mix on headphones and back and forth between the monitors and the headphones, it's a much less shocking transition to go back and forth with all Focal headphones for this very reason, because the drivers literally sit in front of your ears. It's genuinely one of my favorite features. So we're going to get into the sound character here in a minute, but more on kind of the overall vibe of these. They're very well cushioned. The cushions are very, very comfortable, and they seal surprisingly well. These have more rejection than every other headphone that I have. They are an over-the-ear headphone, although kind of a smaller, compact over-the-ear headphone, not an on-ear headphone. And when I'm listening to other things in the room, the rejection that they have, which is like you put these on and there's a singer singing right there, how much of the sound in the room are getting through the headphones. These have more rejection than every other pair of headphones that I have. And that's pretty impressive. It's drastically more than some of them, and it's very, very slightly more than others. But it is the best rejecting headphone that I own. Well, I don't even own these yet, that I have here in the studio. And so that will help with everything. It will help with tracking drums. It will help with tracking vocals. It will help with being in the room with a guitar amp. Just any sort of tracking scenario, these will reject more sound, which is always the goal. Now, it's not going fully to like in-ear monitor level, of course, because they are still a pair of headphones. Construction-wise, they are light. They are not made of, I don't think, they're not made of metal. They don't feel cheap. They feel premium plastic, but they do feel plastic. They are very lightweight. They are certainly lighter than any of the open back headphones that I have. Very, very comfortable. And they feel premium. They feel premium while being very light. Now, in addition to how comfortable they are, these ear cups are actually replaceable, and they just pop off. No magnets, they just snap in and snap out. They feel very well made, but that's good to see. And the material that these are made out of look like they're gonna last a long time and wear really well. So hopefully there's some serious longevity behind this material. That's the impression that I get, is that these will look great for a long time, but they are replaceable. Now, the drivers in these are aluminum magnesium. Focal is kind of known for their beryllium and their magnesium drivers. The Clear MG Pros have full magnesium drivers in them. I'll throw frequency response here up on the screen and like the specs. I'll drop the specs right here of like the ohms and the frequency response, because I actually don't have that yet. These are not out at the time of filming this. Now, how they sound. They have a little bit of a forward mid-range sound, not when compared to other closed back headphones, because kind of all closed back headphones have a pretty pronounced forward mid-range, which is part of that kind of flatness, that lack of three-dimensionality, that closeness that you get from every closed back headphone. They're more natural sounding in the mid-range, significantly more natural sounding in the mid-range than every other closed back pair of headphones that I have here. However, in terms of a flat frequency response, they don't feel flat. They feel like they're pushed in the mid-range a little bit, and they feel like they're pushed in the low end just a little bit, the sub-bass. These, most open back headphones strive to be very flat. Clear MG Pros, definitely very, very flat. These have more sub-bass than the other open back headphones that I have. And I really, really like that, actually. I think, while probably not being technically as accurate, I think I like the way the low end sounds on these better than the Clear MG Pros. I'm maybe not willing to say that definitively, but it's really, really good. Now, what this means for me personally, one, I want as natural sounding headphones as possible, because getting away from that flat, congested thing of closed back headphones, it's a huge deal in terms of being able to accurately perceive what's happening in the music, whether you're tracking or whether you're checking mixes or masters on them. And then having a sub bass, like 100 hertz and down, where like there's weight to it. They sound like there's weight behind them, like you're listening to a very well calibrated subwoofer that it's not overpowering, it's not boomy, it's definitely not, you know, Apple AirPods or Beats by Dre or anything like that. It's a very natural sounding low end, but it does feel enhanced to me compared to the best open back headphones. Now I will put a link down below to go check these out, check out more specs and price and whatnot. These are not cheap. I don't have the final price of these just yet. They're not gonna be cheap. They are going to be a premium closed back headphone. However, they're not going to be anywhere in the ballpark of the Focal Clear MG Pros. I'll drop links to these down below as well, because these are still my favorite for mixing and mastering. But I just think that this is a shocking achievement. This is a great technological achievement to get a closed back headphone that sounds better than most of the other open backs out there, better than all the open backs that I have here for sure, and has the greatest rejection in terms of being able to track on these and shut out the room sound as well as these do, while having the low end that they have. This is hands down my recommendation. If you need a single pair of headphones to mix, to master, and to track, if you do all three of those things and you need one pair of headphones that excels equally in all of them, the Focal Lensys Professional is hands down it. They didn't pay me to say this. They don't get to see this video before it's posted. They didn't tell me what to say. They have no input on what I say. They're absolutely, I'm truly blown away. There's one gripe that I have, and the gripe is that I feel like this cable should be longer. This is you know, a 3.5 foot cable. Now they do come with the curly cable that is longer for sure. I personally don't like the curly cables on headphones. They get caught on stuff nonstop, so I'm not a fan of that. They come in a very nice zip up case here. Same case as all the other Focal headphones, which is a very nice sturdy case. That is literally my only one gripe, is the cable length. I think this should have been a 6 foot cable. That's the only negative thing that I have to say. They're shockingly good. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Links down below. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.